Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are, what time are you seeing this, and then this is going to be broadcast via YouTube as well. So wherever you are, whenever you are, welcome. And I just am going to make a short reading here. The intention is to understand more and more the situation that we are living in nowadays, and to understand that we are at the end of a cosmic cycle. What does it mean? It means that everything is in balance in the universe and has order. So every 25,000 years, in round numbers of course, we revolve around, the solar system revolve around the Milky Way galaxy, and this is called a major cycle. And three of these major cycles, it's called a master cycle. All this according to the Law of One book, which I really recommend to you. You can download the books just by typing the Law of One PDF. It is going to take you to the LL Research webpage, and you can download the videos over there. I consider this very important information because we need to understand, and mostly for those who consider themselves as awakened people, and we are the awakened travelers. This is the aim of our group, to help each other in this awakening process and to make a galactic and peaceful humanity. That's our whole goal. But we need to understand that this is, let's say, this life is it's some kind of game, a tricky game maybe, where we come here from the other side knowing what we are going to face in some ways, understanding what we are looking for. We come here to have an experience, to understand something, to learn something, and probably to teach something as well. So we are always teaching, learning, and learning, teaching here. So I find this part of the book very interesting, and you will understand why I'm trying you to focus on the positive side of seeing things. And we need to remember that we manifest our reality. This is very, very important to really understand it from deep inside. And if we are watching everyday negative news, we are affecting our mind, our heart, and our energy. And this energy is the one that is going to be read by the universe in some way, and it's going to make things to manifest. So let me go into the reading. I think it's very, very clear and very important for these days. And of course, it's been important for forever, but mostly in these days, to understand what we should be doing in these times of what could be perceived as struggle for some people, but for other people it's opportunity. And I think it's a big opportunity to this humanity to understand more about ourselves, our nature, and how we should be behaving and treating our planet. So I'm going to read here. This is the Law of One book, book 2, session 50, from May 6, 1981. And in this interaction, the questioner makes a question to the collective consciousness Ra, which are the ones who build the pyramids of Giza. If you are interested in knowing more, you can download the books, and you can find also in the Work and Travel YouTube videos that I have read some parts of the books already. So it's going to be available there. And this is a channeled material. So there is a person called Kala Racker that is working as a channel, a transmitting ship channel, and the questioner make questions to this collective consciousness, and that's how the channel happens. So he gives the information according to what the questioner asks. So he's not really saying much more than the questioner is asking, but the questioner is a very well prepared person in the metaphysical aspects and even in science. So he came up with a very good material. So the questioner says, could you give an example of how an entity sets up a condition for attracting particular experiential catalyst, and how that catalyst then is provided or is learned when you speak about entity, it's saying a person. Okay, so Ra says, this is one instance, and extrapolation may be made to other entities which are aware of the process of evolution. So we need to be aware, of course, of the process of evolution. How does it work? We are here to grow and evolve spiritually in planet Earth. It's one school, one university, a tough one, I should say, where big lessons are learned in order to transcend, to go into the next level in evolution. So this says, this entity, and he's speaking about Carla, because he is using Carla as an example. It says, this entity choose before incarnation the means whereby catalyst had great probability of being obtained. This entity desired the process of expressing love and light without expecting any return. This entity programmed also to endeavor to accomplish spiritual work and to comfort itself with relationship in the doing of this work. Agreements were made prior to incarnation, the first with the so-called parents and siblings of this entity. These provided the experiential catalyst for the situation of offering radiance of being without expectation of return. The second program involved agreements with several entities. This agreement provided and will provide in your time opportunities for the experiential catalyst of work and comradeship. So we are speaking about agreements made before we come to this planet, and it's very important to understand this. Let's keep going and you will see the big picture. It says, there are events which were part of a program for this entity only, in that they were probability vortices having to do with your societal culture. This event includes the nature of the living or standard of living, the type of relationships entered into your legal framework, and the social climate during the incarnation. The incarnation was understood to be one which could take place at harvest. What is the harvest? They call harvest at this moment in this and the human evolution, when where we are working to transcend, let's say, into a different vibration, a vibration of love, and let's put this third density kind of life behind. This humanity is really trapped into the third density mindset, so that's why we are struggling so much. We are not in that experience anymore, in that vibration anymore, but our mind is really trapped into the previous experience. So it says, these givens, shall we say, apply to millions of your people, those aware of evolution and desirous in the very extreme of attaining the heart of love and the radiance which gives understanding, no matter what the lessons programmed. They have to do with other selves, not with events. They have to do with giving, not receiving, for the lessons of love are of this nature, both for positive and negative. Those negatively harvested will be found at this time endeavoring to share the love to self. Just pay attention what I'm reading. It's for a very good reason. Just stay with me for a few minutes. At the end, it's going to be even greater information. So what he is saying is that we should not focus on the events itself, but what are we going to do during this event? So the question here is, what are you going to do during this event that we are living in? Are you going to polarize, or are you going to stay in the fear state and the fear-mongering state and still thinking about all these conspiracy theories when you should be actually polarizing yourself and doing something with that? But let's see what he says. It's going to be more clear. It says, there are those whose lessons are more random due to their present inability to comprehend the nature and mechanism of the evolution of mind, body, and spirit. Okay? There is some people in this planet that is not ready spiritually to understand what is going on. Just because it's not their moment. Everyone has his or her moment. So we need to respect that also. And to try to make other people think as we think and make them know what we know is not our business. We can help those who are looking for the information, but we are no one to be waking up someone, let's say. And as you were very aware, I crashed against this wall some time ago until I understood that everyone has its time to wake up. Let's continue. It says, of this we may say that the process is guarded by those who never cease their watchful expectation of being of service. So we have guardians, we have guides. There is no entity without help, either through self-awareness of the unity of creation or through guardians of the self which protect the less sophisticated mind, body, spirit from any permanent separation from unity while the lessons of your density continue. So, you need to understand that we have guidance, we are guarded, and in this big scenario of life, you are going to depart from it whenever you have to. It's impossible in some way for someone to leave this planet if it's not your time. So there are so many people that are sharing their experiences, the near-death experience, that they go to the other side and they ask for more time and they come back. Or even they go there and they say, no, you have to do this or that, and they come back. So if it's not your time, you won't go. So many people, it's using this current situation to leave the planet because they don't fit here anymore. Their life purpose have ended. So they are using this situation as a gate to depart from this reality. So that's it. We need to understand that not everyone is going to be able to live in the next vibration. They are not going to sustain this new vibration of love. So they need to go in one way or the other. But that's okay. Let's keep reading. The questioner said, could you give an example of negative polarization sharing love of self? It could seem to me that could be deplete negative polarization. Could you expand on the concept? And Ra says, we may not use examples of known beings due to the infringement this could cause. Thus, we must be general. It says, and pay very close attention. I'm going to read it very slow. Yes, of course they are. Shili is asking, so people are choosing themselves to leave Earth? Of course, everyone chooses. You don't do it consciously, but when they have to go, they choose to go. If you have to stay, you will stay. So they are using this gate of opportunity to leave the planet. This is a part of the event. But pay attention. I'm going to read this one. It's very important. The negatively oriented being will be one who feels that it has found power that gives meaning to its existence, precisely as the positive polarization does feel. This negative entity will strive to offer this understanding to other selves, most usually by the process of forming the elite, the disciples, and teaching the need and rightness of the enslavement of other selves for their own good. These other selves are conceived to be dependent upon the self and in need of the guidance and the wisdom of the self. What is he saying? That there are two paths in the evolution, and we are at the right moment of choosing it. We should have already, but we wake up at some point, and we start with a conscious spiritual work. There are two paths: service to self and service to others. Service to self is trying to help people and to share knowledge, for example. And service to self, as it is said here, they will strive to offer this understanding to other selves, most usually by the process of forming the elite, and teaching the need and rightness of the enslavement of other selves for their own good. So those who are service to self, they just love themselves, and it's perfect, and it's perfectly okay. But that's how the universe works. And the two parts, the service to self and the service to self and service to others, are serving the Creator, because everything is one. That is the law of one. Everything, every one of us is part of the Creator. So those who we perceive as negative nowadays, they are as much part as the Creator as we are, those who are or perceive ourselves as being positive. So they are doing exactly what they should do to polarize themselves in the right direction, so they could transcend into the energy that they desire. And those who are allegedly service to others, we have been trapped into this dualistic mindset of good and bad, and we are going into this fear of what is going on, and we are so distracted with the media that we forgot what we should be doing. We should be polarizing into the right direction. This is an opportunity to be of service. There is so many people around nowadays that in this situation, they need some kind of service. It could be a hug, a smile, a plate of food. It could be so many things. So this is a great opportunity for us, and an opportunity for the humanity to go in. So after all, this is what is happening. It's a manifestation of humanity for the reasons of the harvest, the reason of polarization. There is a metaphysical, let's say, the metaphysical cause of what we are living in nowadays. Of course, then it's going down until it gets into the material thing, and then we could start telling or saying if it's real, if it's not real, who made it, who didn't made it. But that doesn't matter. That is not the intention of this experience into our lives. This experience is there for us to polarize into the right direction. So we think that we are aware of everything. We think that we have awakened and we know what is happening, but this is a game that needs to be understood in a different way, because the system, those who form the elite, those who think that they have the right of enslaving other people because they think that they should be serving them because they are Illuminati, okay? They are doing what they should be doing. That's it. And we should be doing what we should be doing. But these guys are guided by other intelligences that have been in this game for a long time, and they don't respect their free will, so they share the information that they need. And this game then has many levels. When you think you are awake and you are here, but you still have the distraction for this level. When you think you are here, you still have the distraction for this level. They start telling you that, oh yeah, some president from some northern country is the good one, and yeah, he's going to save us. But it's just part of the game. Probably this president of this northern country has also a service to self idea, and it's just a little bit better than the other one. So we really need to understand how this humanity or this game that is called life, it's played. But let's go further. And the questioner says, can you expand on the concept, which is that it's necessary for an entity during incarnation in the physical as we know it to become polarized or interact properly with other entities, and why this isn't possible in between incarnations when the entity is aware of what he wants to do. Question: why must he come into an incarnation and lose conscious memory of what he wants to do and then act in a way in which he hopes to act? So in other words, is asking, why do we need to come to life from the other side to experience this? Why don't we polarize on the other side? And the answer for the question is a very good one, of course, as always is. It says, I am Ra. Let us give the example of the man who sees all the poker hands. He then knows the game. It is but child's play to gamble, for it is no risk. All the hands are known, the possibilities are known, and the hand will be played correctly, but with no interest. In time, space, and in the true color green density, when he says time, space, it means in the metaphysical side, in the spiritual side, let's say, in the non-incarnate side. It says in time, space, in the true color green density as heart chakra, the density of love, the hands of all are open to the eye. The thoughts, the feelings, the troubles, all these may be seen. There is no deception and no desire for deception. Thus, much may be accomplished in harmony, but the mind, body, spirit gains little polarity from the interaction. Okay? When you are on the other side, everything is seen, everything is open to everyone, so you don't really polarize as much as you need to go into a higher experience, spiritually speaking. So, it continues. Let us re-examine this metaphor and multiply it into the longest poker game you can imagine, a lifetime. The cards are love, dislike, limitation, unhappiness, pleasure, etc. They are dealt and redealt continuously. You may, during this incarnation, begin, and we stress begin, to know your own cards. You may begin to find the love within you. You may begin to balance your pleasure, your limitations, etc. However, your only indication of other self's cards is to look into the eyes. You cannot remember your hand, their hands, perhaps even the rules of this game. This game can only be won by those who lose their cards in the melting influence of love. Pay attention. Can only be won by those who lay their pleasures, their limitations, their all upon the table face up and say inwardly, and quote, all of you players, each other self, whatever your hand, I love you. This is the game, to know, to accept, to forgive, to balance, and to open the self in love. This cannot be done without the forgetting, for it could carry no weight in the life of the mind, body, spirit, beingness, totality. So I think this is absolutely very, very important to understand how we play this game. And we go into the material aspect of it, and we start discussing about the 5G, all the diseases, and the vaccines and the flu and whatever. We got so deep into it that we don't understand that we are putting that vibration into our field, into our aura, into our heart. And then what we are doing is just manifesting more of this. And I will read it again because Shelley is asking for it. And he's considering life as a poker game, okay? What he's saying is, when you come to this planet, you forget what your cards are. You could be a very evolved being from other planet, yes, but when you come here, you forget everything. You just feel things, and you are pretty better in some ways or worse in some ways compared to others, but you have forgotten why you came here. It says, you cannot remember your hand, their hands, perhaps even the rules of this game. This game is life. This game can only be won by those who lose their cards in the melting influence of love, can only be won by those who lay their pleasures, their limitations, their all, open the table face up and say inwardly, end quote, all of you players, each other self, whatever your hand, I love you. That's the only way to transcend and to win this game, through love, okay? Through love. It's not through hate, it's not through anger, it's by understanding the game of life. We came to this planet to experience this life, to experience all this. We choose to be here in this time at the end of the cycle to experience what ascension is, what the harvest is, to polarize ourselves into the right direction if we are ready. So by in some way understanding this game, you just understand that the only thing that could make you win is by loving. Why? Because those who are service to self and nowadays thinking that they can slave humanity, they are part of you. They are part of God. They are needed. They are in some way your teachers. They are teaching you what you are not. If you don't have what you are not, you cannot know what you are. So that's why they are there. If you serve yourself, you serve the Creator. If you serve other selves, you serve the Creator, because all is one. And that is the law of one. So, very important part. I can really go further and clarify more if you want. Well, but it says, okay, the question is, but how can I accept what they do when I know it's bad? It's bad, but it's just your perception of things. Because let's say I will die today, I'm going to the other side and I'm going to manifest a body. I'm not going to be a bubble of energy there. I'm going to see myself as a body, soul, spirit. I will see myself as a physical being. And some guide is going to tell me, welcome, Agustin. How was your life? How was your experience? You learned what you needed to learn? You experienced what you need to experience? So good and bad, it's also very relative. Good and bad, it's different in different times. And you know, you will say, no, but you're doing this and that. Yes, it's probably too much. As I say, it's probably, this is a very hard and tough university to go. But many people in the universe want to come to this very hard university. The only way of getting rid of all this situation is through love, not through punishing people, because not through hating them, because we are in the same way. We're going to be in the same vicious cycle and never going out of this hate mongering situation. It's the only way is love, and you don't need to accept or qualify what they are doing, because what they are doing is good from their perspective. They don't think that they are doing something bad. So from their perspective, they have the right to do this, and they are doing good. Just because it's how the evolution works. And third density, let's say, it's a quite tough place to be. What we should be doing, instead of qualifying good or bad, or seeing what they are doing, is to do the good thing that we think it is good. So you have an opportunity in front of you to do good. So don't focus on what someone else is doing bad. You focus on your spiritual evolution and into understanding that you could be doing lots of things nowadays. Not only being at home seated crying because someone is doing bad things and sending 100 messages in all the social media, putting more intensity and more energy into this negative stuff. We could be doing good things, polarizing ourselves into the service to others. Opportunities, 1 million out there, okay? So it says, so I should accept what the government is doing with us. You just go with the flow. You will accept what you want to accept for you. If you want to be vaccinated, that's good. Do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's your experience on planet Earth. It's your experience here. Then if someone else comes and asks you, just because the law of attraction knew how to put this person in your path, you will tell him or her all that you know about it. And he will take the decision of what to do. Not you, not me. Everyone is here for his or her own spirit evolution, and that must be understood. So this humanity, in this planet, there are many different levels of humans, because if you follow the law of one book, they tell you that this humanity is composed by many elements from many different places in our universe. There is an original humanity that went through the third density cycle but didn't accept or didn't went through the experiences as fast or as good as it should be to graduate into the next level. There are beings were brought, spirits were brought from Mars, then others were brought from the planet Maldek, that is now our asteroid belt, and they are repeating the third density cycle. So in this planet, many people is going to repeat, many souls are going to repeat the third density cycle because they are not prepared for transcending into the loving reality. So that's it. So it's not about accepting or not accepting. It's about what you are going to do with this experience that you have in front of you. Are you going to start kicking doors and trying to kill them for what they are doing? So you're not polarizing in the right direction, unless that's what you want to do. So if you want to go further, if you want to go into this game, into the next level, if you want to transcend, if you want to do what you came to do, if you are a starseed to this planet, is to share love, not to fight with what they are doing. Because only with love, as is said here, and it's quite understandable, you can win this. And again, we see everything like a big drama, but it doesn't matter if the whole humanity disappears. You are going to keep existing. You will never cease to exist. You will go home. What is home? The other side. The other side is home, not this side. The incarnated side is not home. This body is only the vessel for what I am, for this energy I am, and is to manifest or to experience something in this planet, and you can do the same in other planets, but it's not real life. So you are endless, and you are going to keep existing no matter how many bombs are dropped on top of your head. Good. Let's keep going. It's actually it. It's all I wanted to say. It's all I wanted to read, and I think it's very, very, very important. And I will read that again for those who want to reinforce it. We come to life, and it says, you cannot remember your hand, their hands, perhaps even the rules of this game. This game can only be won by those who lose their cards in the melting influence of love. Can only be won by those who lay the pleasures, the limitations, they're all upon the table, face up, and say inwardly, all of you players, each other selves, whatever your hand, I love you. This is the game, to know, to accept, to forgive, to balance, and to open the self in love. This cannot be done without forgetting, for it would carry no weight in the life of the mind, body, spirit, beingness, totality. Very important this. I just wanted to read this part. I just wanted to clarify this, and I hope you understand my position, that knowing this and seeing people still spreading the same news. I do it here in Facebook because I know there are different levels of awakening, and some people need to know some things. But being said that, I see those things from an objective perspective. I don't get involved in the feeling of hating, being in fear. I just do it in a different way. You can share this information in a different way, making someone else to understand that what is going on, it's perfect in some way. It's our manifestation, and it's something we need to go through, because the previous normal life, it was a disaster. We were killing our planet, we were killing each other like beasts, and we got so trapped into the fear-based society, we forgot to go in. We were not going in at all as humans, as the totality. We forgot to take care of our spirit, of our mind, our body. We were doing, give me another pizza, give me another beer, and let's go party. And that's how you treat your body. And then go see boxing and all the movies and all this crazy music of disastrous content. So you're destroying your mind. And what are you doing with the spirit? So that's very important to understand. Am I feeding correctly my mind, body, and spirit? The question was, as humans, no, sorry, we were not. We were doing completely wrong. So we needed to go in, to have time to appreciate certain things. And this is also going to serve as a wake-up call for some people that was not awake already. And we could probably face something worse. And it's probably what some other people need, because they are very trapped into the hypnotic state that has been created in this planet, where we are told that we are alone in the universe. When all the pharma industries are there, and we got into this mindset of, I need the pharma to heal myself, because I have no idea that I'm an energy body, that I can heal myself, that all this existed. So it is very important to come back inside and understand what is the game we are playing. We are playing the game called life. We are here to grow and evolve spiritually, and that's the work we should be doing. Working in consciousness, doing meditation exercises, feeding ourselves correctly, and helping others if you're a service to others people. If not, that's perfectly okay. Welcome to this channel, welcome to this video, and I hope you can really transcend into the next experience in your life, so you can, as the creator, have the experience that you want. That's absolutely perfect. So fear not, life is endless. This is not home. Home is on the other side. Understand the game and win it. Thank you. Bye bye.